The message hit my screen like a slap. The Whitmore family reunion is this Saturday at the RoseBridge Grand. Don't come. We don't celebrate failures. I leaned back in my ergonomic chair, the San Diego skyline stretching wide beyond the floor-to-ceiling windows of my corner office on the 39th floor. The RoseBridge Grand wasn't just a five-star landmark. It was mine. 15 years ago, that message might have broken me. Today, I just smirked. Another ping. We have standards to maintain. Don't humiliate us like last time. I glanced up at the photo on my wall, me, cutting the ribbon beside the mayor the day I acquired RoseBridge Hospitality Group for $310 million. Of course, none of them knew that. To my family, I was still Lena Whitmore, the 26-year-old who ruined her life by dropping out of law school to clean motel rooms. They never asked what came after. They didn't know I worked 12-hour housekeeping shifts, learned to fix HVAC units, studied hotel finance online, that I turned a rundown La Jolla Inn into one of California's premier coastal resorts in 4 years. They definitely didn't know I now oversaw 27 luxury properties across the West Coast. Then came a gem from my cousin Clay. Mom says don't show up in one of your little janitor outfits. It's just sad. Today's uniform? A cream silk blouse, Louboutin heels, and a title that made bankers stand when I entered a room. My assistant, Priya, buzzed in. Miss Whitmore, the Q2 profit reports are ready. Also, the Whitmore family confirmed their reunion reservation. Which space did they book? The Grand Orchid Ballroom, Diamond Tier Catering, rooftop fireworks. Want me to add a note to the invoice? I smiled. Yes, just, with warm regards from the owner. Aunt Meredith had been gloating for weeks on Facebook about hosting the family reunion at San Diego's most exclusive oceanfront hotel. I stood, smoothed the lapels of my ivory blazer, and checked the lobby feed on my monitor. Let them admire the marble floors and crystal chandeliers. Let them soak it all in. The Whitmore name wasn't just on the invitation. It was etched in bronze above the entrance. Don't charge them yet, I said to Priya. Let them think it's on the house, for now. The group chat was still buzzing. RSVPs, wine pairings, jokes about the toast. Then, my mother chimed in. Please don't take offense, Lena. Your aunt just wants everything to go smoothly. The RoseBridge Grand is very particular, you know. Oh, we had standards, just not the ones they imagined. I opened my laptop and pulled up our guest intelligence file. We prepped one for every major event. Aunt Meredith, twice caught using her late husband's expired business card at luxury resorts. Cousin Clay, flagged at a Miami hotel for threatening staff over pillow firmness. Uncle Byron, permanently banned from a Napa Inn after harassing a sommelier. The only reason they were welcome here was because they had no idea who owned the place. Another message came through, from Arya, the only family member who knew the truth. You're really letting them stroll into your hotel like nothing happened? Don't worry, I replied. They'll get their moment, just not the one they expect. Arya had seen it all, the overnights, the drywall, the cold investor calls. She toasted me the night I bought Rose. Promise you'll get it on camera. Already done. Lobby, ballroom, rooftop, multiple angles. A soft knock interrupted my thoughts. Come in. Daniel Cho, my head of security, stepped in with a tablet. All foods cleared. The Esperanto mayor RSVP'd. Surveillance is finalized. Still want to wait until they're all inside before the reveal? I nodded. Let them sip the champagne, take their selfies, feel like they belong. Daniel gave a knowing half-smile. He'd been with me since the La Jolla days, when we patched drywall ourselves and reused keycards. He knew how I moved, no drama until the applause began to fade. He knew how many nights I slept behind the laundry chute, how many holidays I worked while my family toasted without me. And their room bookings? He asked. Cancel all of them. He raised a brow. Even your parents? I paused, then nodded. The last memory I had of telling my father I was leaving law school played in my mind like a worn-out tape. You're throwing away your future to clean toilets. He spat. If you walk out that door, don't bother coming back. Yes, I said quietly, especially them. Daniel nodded, jotting it down. And the ballroom? Clear it out, I said. Except one round table, one chair. Kill all the lights. Leave just a single spotlight on the chair. He chuckled low. Elegant. Brutal. I like it. After he left, I moved to the glass wall overlooking the bay. The RoseBridge Grand spire caught the fading light, poised against the evening tide. These streets had seen me shuffle past in $90 sneakers and polyester uniforms, grinding for every cent I poured into this empire. My phone buzzed again. Aunt Meredith. We hired a photographer. Don't do anything to embarrass the family. This hotel has a reputation to maintain. I traced my hand over the nameplate on my desk. Lena Whitmore, founder and CEO. Whitmore RoseBridge Group. Oh, Aunt Meredith, I whispered, you've never even met our standards. The rest of the week unfolded with precision. I rehearsed lighting cues, reviewed staff roles, ran test recordings. My team, many once belittled by my relatives, volunteered with enthusiasm. Some even offered unpaid overtime. Friday night, I called Arya. You ready for tomorrow? I asked. Born ready, she laughed. Batteries charged, angles locked in like I'm shooting a feature film. A pause. But Lena, are you absolutely sure? They're still your family. I glanced at the worn photo on my bookshelf, me at 27, mop in one hand, towels in the other, dressed in faded housekeeping uniform. They stopped being family the day they decided I was an embarrassment, a liability. I turned to my closet. Tomorrow I wouldn't wear silk blouses or tailored slacks. I'd wear that uniform, clean, pressed, proud, the same one I wore when they called me foolish, told me I'd wasted my life. Now, they'd walk beneath my name, etched in bronze above the grand archway, too self-absorbed to even look up. If you've ever been underestimated, told you'd never make it, don't miss what happens when they step into my world. Hit subscribe and stay with me, because the moment of truth is just one door away. Sometimes the best revenge needs no explanation. Sometimes it only takes the right outfit and perfect timing. Saturday morning in San Diego arrived crisp. Ocean breeze drifting through the RoseBridge Grand's wide balconies. Light poured through the stained glass dome, sparkling on cut glass vases and polished brass fixtures. I stood by my office window on the top floor, dressed in the same housekeeping uniform I hadn't touched in over a decade. It felt grounding, like armor. They've started arriving, Daniel said over the intercom. Aunt Meredith already requested early check-in. And when you told her no? She asked to speak to the owner. And your reply? That the owner would be making an appearance. On the security feed, Meredith stood stiff by the coral-tiled fountain, her voice rising. Clay was beside her, furiously typing, no doubt a 5-paragraph Yelp rant in progress. And there were my parents. My father, in a pressed navy suit, lips tight. My mother, in rented pearls, clutching a designer bag she'd probably return by Monday. There must be some mistake. My mother's voice rang, tight, clipped with embarrassment. No mistake, Mrs. Whitmore, Daniel said smoothly. The owner requests each of you step forward, one at a time, into the light. This is absurd, Meredith snapped. Do you even know who we are? I demand to speak to the owner. I stepped through the ballroom doors without hesitation. Request granted. Silence fell like velvet. Every head turned. 40 pairs of eyes froze on me. I stood beneath the massive archway, in my pressed housekeeping uniform, binder in hand, shoulders squared. Shock rippled through the room like static. Lena, my father said, voice cracking. What are you doing here? Why are you dressed like, what? I walked into the spotlight with slow, deliberate steps. Like a maid? Like someone beneath you? Like the daughter you cut off because she didn't want your life? If this is some kind of joke, Meredith started. But I raised a hand. Oh, it's real. Watching you spiral over your cancelled suite was entertaining. I reached the lone table, placed the binder down, and turned to face them. The RoseBridge Grand does have standards, I said, calm and clear. We don't host guests who belittle service workers, we don't accept fraudulent cards, and we don't tolerate entitlement masquerading as legacy. From the back, Victoria gasped. You're just a maid. I smiled, steady, unshaken. No, I'm the owner of this hotel. And of the Whitmore RoseBridge Group. 27 luxury properties across 3 countries. I let the binder fall open with a sharp, satisfying thud. Shall we take a little tour of the past? Then I began to read. Their texts. Their emails. Their public posts. The insults. The mockery. The erasure. Every time they wrote me off. Every time they said I'd never amount to anything. Now, they sat silent, under my roof, staring into my spotlight, unable to rewrite the life I'd built. My mother's voice trembled. That's impossible. What is, Mom? I asked gently. That your so-called failure of a daughter now owns the ballroom you're standing in? The most exclusive hotel in San Diego, I added, stepping fully into the light. The same daughter you refused to invite to Thanksgiving now holds the master key. I paused. I could buy and sell this family 100 times, and still be bored. But the rooms, Aunt Meredith stammered. Cancelled, I said smoothly. By my directive, just like your little reunion. Silence, thick and unyielding. The RoseBridge Grand maintains exceptionally high standards, I continued. We do not accommodate guests who insult service workers, abuse staff, or parade entitlement as a virtue. You can't do this, Clay burst out. All my friends are on their way. This is humiliating. I stepped closer, eyes locked on his. Humiliating? I echoed. Like the years I was told I didn't belong? Like being erased from birthdays, weddings, and family photos, because I didn't wear a stethoscope or marry into your country club? I nodded toward the back. Security. Daniel and his team appeared, silent, steady, inevitable. Kindly escort everyone out, I said. If they argue, remind them we have recorded footage. If they threaten, remind them we have documented behavior from multiple hotel chains. And if necessary, I smiled. Well, the San Diego press loves a scandal with brunch. Lena, wait, my father stepped forward, eyes wide. No, I said, voice firm. Where was this concern when I lived on ramen, sleeping 3 hours a night? When you called me a disgrace to the family name? One by one, the security team moved in, ushering them out. Their designer shoes echoed on the marble floor as sobs, gasps, and muttered curses faded down the hallway. Oh, and before you go, I called after them. The champagne you insisted on? It wasn't complimentary. Expect a personal invoice, with a service charge. As the ballroom emptied, Arya emerged from her hidden camera setup. That was brutal, legendary, but seriously, are you okay? I looked around the vast, silent room. Once, I wasn't allowed a seat at this table. Now, I owned the table. The room. The story. I'm perfect, I whispered. That evening, I changed back into my usual outfit, cream blouse, blazer, heels polished to a mirror shine, and watched the San Diego skyline burn gold from the rooftop lounge of the RoseBridge Grand. My phone buzzed non-stop. Calls, messages, voicemails. Some apologetic, others venomous. All deleted by morning. Headlines flooded every major business and society site. Hotel powerhouse Lena Whitmore shuts down family reunion over class prejudice. Some called it ruthless. Most called it iconic. All agreed on one thing: my rise from hotel housekeeper to West Coast magnate was undeniable. A week later, a plain envelope landed in my executive mail tray. No return address, but the handwriting was familiar. Inside, the letterhead of Whitmore, Cardoyle, my family's legacy law firm. An offer. They wanted me back. Not just back, named partner. No apology, no reflection, just a seat at their table. I sealed my reply with a wax stamp and sent it the next morning. Inside, one pressed housekeeping uniform. And a note, handwritten. No, thank you. I prefer owning buildings to renting desks in them. The RoseBridge Grand only grew in stature. Our reputation, luxury without arrogance, service without servitude, became a beacon in hospitality. I made it policy to hire those who, like me, started at the bottom: dishwashers, receptionists, janitors, people with fire in their eyes and no safety net. Every new hire hears my story. Not as revenge, but as a reminder. Success isn't given. It's built, one scrubbed floor, one overlooked shift, one bold decision at a time. Late one night, after rounds with the night staff, I slipped on that same uniform again. Not for nostalgia, but out of respect for the woman I was, the one who vacuumed conference rooms while her family pretended she didn't exist. She wasn't weak. She was becoming. And now everyone knew it. The Whitmore family never held another reunion at a luxury venue. They couldn't. Word spread fast through elite hotel circles. My story went with it. Some managers even framed it in their staff rooms, a quiet warning. A proud reminder, greatness doesn't always wear a tailored suit. Sometimes, it wears a name tag. And carries keys. I keep that spotlight for every orientation. I pause beside it and tell the truth. About the day I stood under that light, wearing my past like armor, and showed an entire family what worth really means. It wasn't about revenge. It was about value. Claiming space once denied. Proving I became someone they never believed I could be. Lena Whitmore. Founder, CEO, hotel magnate. Not bad for someone they once called a failure. If my story speaks to you, if you've ever been told you don't belong, or watched loved ones turn their backs when you chose your own path, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below. Tell me what hit you hardest. Tell me about the moment you chose yourself over approval. Your voice matters here. Not just for me, but for everyone still working late shifts, still overlooked, still building what no one else understands. This isn't just a channel. It's a community for quiet power, earned success, and dignity that doesn't need to shout. Tap subscribe if you believe in growth, grit, and becoming more than anyone ever imagined. And if you're still in your uniform, whatever that looks like, keep going, keep showing up. Your work, your vision, your story matters. I'm living proof you don't need applause to rise. You just need belief in yourself, in the work, and in the future you're building. They might not see your worth yet, but that doesn't mean it isn't shining. Let's stand together and build something no one can take away.